It's a nice day today. Might have some free time. And we're going to smoke some ribs today. And in the process of doing so, I'm going to piss off damn near every YouTuber that's trying to sell you stuff out here the way to do this. It's easier than you think. Patience is key. And we're going to dispel all these gatekeeper rumors in one foul swoop and make some good ribs at the same time. Let's get started. Okay, rack a baby back pork ribs here. Let's talk about rumor number one. All right. Take them out and let them set and come up to room temp. Don't throw these things on a smoker cold like that. And you wonder why your stuff comes out tough. Look, bacteria doesn't start growing on cold pork for like 2.5 hours. So you need to let these set out for at least an hour and a half before you put them onto a hot grill. Or they just blister. It's kind of like your skin hitting like a toaster oven. It'll blister. All right, let's talk fire. And I'm gonna show you how to start one on a real firebox that's been broke in. So if we look here, you can see it has to be cleaned. And if you look at it, it's not very big. I mean, 12 by 12 by 12. It's not like one of those big smokers where you can just fire this thing up with wood. So we need charcoal. But we need to know how to start the charcoal and how much charcoal to use. Firebox is clean. We have a chimney. Now, granted I could do this right in the firebox, but I don't want to do that. And I'm going to explain to you why. I'm going to fill the firebox. I'm going to use the chimney to measure how many coals that I got going in there. As they burn, they compact. So filling it up to the top is a bad idea. So we're going to fill it about halfway, pour that unlit down in there into the firebox. Then I'm going to show you and dispel another rumor of how to get it lit. About 3/4 in here. Okay, we're in. Now, let's do this. I want what was told to me was called a mud pit, for lack of a better term. There's some area in there with nothing. I'll show you why. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oopsie, 7. We're gonna light those, and I'm gonna show you how to do it without spending any more money. That is olive oil, or some kind of cooking oil, which you probably have in your house. A lighter, and don't throw away your old bags of charcoal, folks, because that's what we're gonna use. This is those stupid ass tumbleweeds that all these fuckers want to charge you money to buy so they get commission. Olive oil, say a low smoke point, and it's going to burn. We're going to take that bag, we're going to douse it with oil. I'm going to crumble it up, stick it in the bottom of this chimney, and I'm going to light it. You see, that is lit. And the bag is smoldering under there with some fire, and without the use of lighter fluid, which would taste nasty, these coals are going to start to burn and literally see, it's catching fire now. All right, about 30 minutes, you should end up with something that looks like that. I'm going to pour that right in that hole that I created in the firebox. there. And that's gonna slowly light everything else where we can control the temperature. Yeah, they don't tell you that, do they? So we're gonna close our box. We're gonna open that all the way up. And then we're gonna make sure that our flute there is all the way open. We have this doohickey. It's reading nothing. You don't trust that doohickey. You go get yourself one of those doohickeys. It already says 120 degrees. Now the reason being is because there's a probe right there. Use this thermostat and they'll see that this thing is like reading lower than where barbecue's at. That's because this thing is usually going to read about 80 degrees higher than what's actually going on. So yeah, next bunch of bullshit. You have to smoke at 225 or you have to smoke at 250. If you want quicker, I don't know, like, fuck them up. Anyhow, the golden rule is 225, 250, 275. You can even go to 300 for a little while, but I wouldn't let them rock there for too long. But just know your smoker. Start out with a different cut of meat than a rib, I would say, and learn your hot spots in your smoker and how fast that you can get the temperature up and how fast you can bring the temperature back down. That part is a hands-on thing. But yeah, don't let anybody tell you that you don't know what you're doing if you're not smoking at 225. If your stuff cracks 300, you're bucking them up. That's ridiculous. I'll tell you what fucking them up is, we'll be cooking them at 400 degrees or anything above that. I'm just saying. Wood and when to add it. Some people add it at the start. Some people add it at the point of combustion. That's usually what I do. What you don't do is add it right after you put your food on the grill. Why? You see all that smoke? There's a couple pieces of hickory that started to combust in there. But I want them to come to a full combust. And that's going to help generate more heat and bring this thing up to around 225 degrees to 250 where I want to cook at. But smoking food does not mean you want that kind of smoke. I don't know if you can see it, but you can probably see it from here. This thing's like, looks like a fucking tire fire back here. So where you're out here chilling with your buddies having some beer, thinking that you're smoking food, really what's happening if you got anything in there is you're going to make it bitter. So the point of smoking is to bring something to the point of combustion or right at combusting. So then you just get the flavor of the wood, not the smoke of the wood. And then you get these people with thin blue smoke. Man, if you do this right, you probably won't see any smoke at all. Just saying. I'm back indoors and I'm going to spare y'all. But I do remove the membrane, and that thing was covering the entire back of the ribs. You don't have to. People tell you have to. Word. But that's just silly. I think it gets more smoke in there, but if you don't want to remove them, don't. If you do, the easiest way to do it is to find the thinnest part of one of the sides of the ribs, take the back of a spoon, stick it up and under it, use a paper towel, grab it and pull, whole thing will come off. Alright, let's talk seasoning. So, like I said, I've taken off the membrane off the back. Trimmed off every tiny little bit that I kind of didn't want on there, so they kind of look uniform. One side's longer than the other. If it was competition, you would cut that off so they would square up, but it ain't. We're just going to eat these. So the first thing that they don't show you, get a paper towel, and you're going to splotch them. Get all that condensation off. We don't want them to steam yet. We want them to slow bake in the smoker. So we need all that moisture to go away. We'll introduce moisture when we want it. Do the back too. Wear gloves while doing all this, folks. You can cross-contaminate quickly. This is raw pork. Next, we need to go into our spice rack. And we're going to find SPG. It's crazy that they sell this stuff to you. You don't have to do that. 1 part salt, 1 part pepper, 1 part garlic powder. There you go. You go on YouTube and you watch these guys, man, and they'll start to do their ribs, and hell, it's a commercial for whatever the hell they're selling. Whoever's got their little link down there to buy their rub, and that's fine. Stubbs makes good rub. Meat Church makes some pretty good rub. It's very expensive, okay? I have an old Stubbs bottle here, but if you'll notice, I ain't no Stubbs rub in there. I made it. Not hard. I'm not going to tell you everything that's in this one because it's mine, but paprika, brown sugar, light brown sugar, a little bit of chili powder if you like a little bit of back end on there, salt, pepper, garlic, granulated onion, you know, saffron if you think you're being cute. Shake it all up, put it on there, man. What's next? We need to start with a binder. Mustard is the general go-to. It's not gospel. You can use anything that's oil-based. If I wanted to use olive oil, I could. If I wanted to use hot sauce, I could. If I wanted to use Worcestershire, I could. Why will I not do that? Because you will taste those. The reason that people use the mustard, strangely enough, is the flavor bakes out of it. So we're going to put it on. All right, we're going to start on the back. I like to start on the back because it's kind of nastier, right? So, and you're not putting a lot. Look at that. It's just right down the center. And we're just going to rub it on. Right like that. Cool killer. Get that on there. Then we're going to flip to the front. I'm going to take off one glove. Inside out, folks. And we're going to do the top. Not a lot. Alright? Just like that. It's not a lot. It's really not. And we're going to rub it everywhere on the top. You've seen this 100 times. Everybody does this. I'm going to show you some things that they don't tell you while they're doing it. So you get a nice uniform coat. Pow. We have it. So we have some salt, pepper, garlic here. And we are going to remove that glove. I keep these things readily available. I do a lot of cooking. So you're going to want to be smart and glove your offhand, which would be my right hand. I am bass backwards left-handed. And we're going to open sesame. And then the salt, pepper, garlic, we're going to lay down and baste this. Not necessary, but I think it tastes better. They do not tell you this. 16 to 18 inches. And that will give you what they bring out as their money shot at the end. Now, we're going to go with the good shit. Same space. We're going to hit it from a high point. And they're going to tell you more is better. That's also dumb. You don't need more. Okay. You want a good coverage. Right. Don't rub it in. It's okay to pat it a little bit. Don't rub it, even though it's called a rub. Don't rub it. Flip it over. Not necessary with this again, but we're gonna do it anyway. In the process of doing the ribs, I'm coming out here and checking once. Looky there. We're sitting at 245, folks. That's what we're after. So we can let those ribs sweat down a little bit, and you'll see the seasoning start to kind of get wet looking because it's pulling all the juice from the top to the top from the bone. Now, what that does is it pulls all the moisture to the top, and then as you start to cook it, it'll pull down. And when it pulls down, that's what gives you a bark that doesn't come off. That's also my timer. I don't do this 3-2-1 method and all this shit. And I'll show you what I'm talking about after we get them on. All right, through the process of time, we're rolling. And they are on. Top rack, set at an angle. Now, why are they at an angle? I could have put them in there a long ways. I know my smoker. And the part that's laying to the back has a little less meat on it than the part in the front. I don't want it to overcook, but we are just starting. I'll come back if I need to spritz, and we'll go from there. See y'all after a while. Been about an hour. Let's go outside and see how we're rolling. Right around 248. If you notice, no smoke. But there's wood in there, folks. Just gave him a check. Everything is running good. No need to spish right now. Let's talk sauce. There's a million good barbecue sauces out there in the store that you can just go buy. And that's perfectly fine. The one thing I would say is right before you put it on, cut it with just a couple tablespoons of water and mix that in there. I'll give you two reasons. It'll apply better. It's not going to affect the taste. It'll apply better. It won't burn as fast. If you want to make your own, which I do a lot, not always. There's a million cooking tutorials out there to do that, but you're looking at usually a cup of water, and then you're going to decide whether it's vinegar based or molasses based, ketchup based, usually a combination of those or all three. And pepper, paprika, salt. Go check it out. I'll show you when mine's on the stove. I'm not going to show you what goes into it. I have obvious reasons for that. But yeah, everything's running fine. We'll have a cold one. All right, so we're setting it about 232 degrees on the smoker. I just opened the door, so it's going to drop. I have them pulled out. You can get a gander at that there. Now, this is how I check to see if they're ready to be wrapped or not. So I run my finger across them, and if I'm not pulling any clumps up, just barely any of the rub coming up, they're getting close. I would say we're about 30 to 40 minutes away before we can wrap these bad boys. I sprayed them once off camera with a mixture of water and vinegar, 1 part water, 1 part vinegar in a spray bottle. That spray bottle. And that's about all that I've done. Clean smoke, they smell good. And the biggest myth when I wrap these suckers, I'm gonna bust it wide open. Word. So we're about to finish up outside on the smoker for a minute. I have started my sauce, or the base to my sauce. So we have some vinegar, some garlic, some crushed red pepper, some brown sugar, and 2 big old pieces of onion down here that we're gonna infuse. And then I'll add a little bit of water and start to build the base of my sauce. Or glaze, depending on how you look at it, whatever. You know what I mean? Or if you blink, you'd miss it. All right, we're off the smoker and back in the house. So that was about 4 hours, I guess, give or take, outside. We're getting ready to wrap these things so we can get them tender. Now here's the kicker. I'm gonna wrap them, and I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm gonna wrap them in. It's no big deal. It's tin foil with butter and a little bit of hot honey, okay? So I'm gonna put them meat side down on top of the butter and the honey, and I'm gonna wrap them really tight, just like that there. Okay, so the honey and the butter are completely optional. I feel like it helps. Now I'm gonna just blow your fucking mind. Like, so when we put food on a smoker, it has to get air for it to smoke and to get the smoke taste. So you'll go on with all these barbecue guys and you open up their links, and there's always a link for like Kingsford and tumbleweeds and store-bought wood. You get my drift. And they're gonna walk right back outside and throw these bad boys right back on the smoker, wrapped. where absolutely nothing can get into them. Absolutely nothing. Like, you're just putting them back on there to cook and like wasting fuel. Now, granted, if I was out somewhere and cooking and that's the only thing that I had, that's what I would do. And when I do them for functions and things of that nature, that's exactly what I do, because people expect authenticity. However, at home, this is my own money and I don't have to do that shit. So check this out, friends. Is an oven. You probably own one. That is the ribs with the meat side down and a pan underneath it in case something drips. I'm gonna close it now. 250 degrees, about the same I was smoking at outside. Don't waste your charcoal, don't waste your wood, don't waste your fucking time. If you're not trying to just burn up everything outside, you're getting absolutely no smoke flavor once these things get wrapped. It's kind of pointless. So to all the barbecue guys out there on YouTube, quit trying to fucking steal money from people. I'll be back when these are ready to like sauce. Our sauce is cooked done and ready. It's been strained for the onions and the garlic cloves. We're fitting to pull these ribs, make a little boat, and we're going to baste them for about an hour. On and off, we're going to put a little barbecue sauce on them. They should be done. Alright, that's just the back of them. As you can see, there's a really, really, really good amount of bone pull back there. That's what we're after. Your non-sauced money shot. Pretty good. So let's start saucing. I'm going to show you what you do to get that really, really nice look to them. We don't brush. We don't do that. We're going to dab just like this. Yeah. Just like that. I'm going to go ahead and finish. And I'll be right back. What you should see after that is something that looks like this. Now we're going to go back into the oven. Same temp. Alright. After about an hour or so of basting with sauce, you should end up with something like that. Yeah. I don't have the lighting to do it justice, but I will show you this real fast. I'm going to cut right down the bone. Right. Just like yonder. And you're going to get that. So, for everybody that needs to tell you that your ribs are supposed to like have a bone pulled, like the bone's going to fall out of it. I mean, eat your ribs the way you want. But that's like fast food restaurants who dump a bunch of sugar on stuff and then overcook it and sell it to you for $30. Telling you that's the way ribs are supposed to work. This is how they're supposed to work. We're gonna bite, and you should get. That's amazing. A clean bone, but no pull. Bite through ribs, not bone fall off. That's mush. That's a good fucking rib. Yep. I knocked the fuck out of them, and you can too.